Welcome all children. Now here is a simple passage. The earlier passage was a bit difficult, but we have a very simple passage for practice. For junior children up to 8 years old, and along with the passage we also have got voice modulation tips. We also have voice modulation tips. Now parents are requested not to explain voice modulation. Do not explain to the children the meaning of voice modulation, because what we are giving is just one part of voice modulation. It's not the entire voice modulation. It is one part, one aspect of voice modulation. So there's no need to explain the meaning of voice modulation, but in practice they will learn some aspect, the rudimentary preliminary aspect of voice modulation. So passage for elocution practice for junior children with voice modulation tips. Now here we have a passage, 60 words, and at the rate of 135 words per minute, it should take about 27 to 28 seconds. Right? And the recommended rate, 135 words per minute plus or minus 10%. Right? 135 words per minute plus or minus 10%. The passage, the reading of the passage should take 27 to 28. That means not below 25 and not above 30. Not below 25 seconds. It should be more than 25 seconds, but less than 30 seconds. Now we are reading without voice modulation, plain reading. Later, sentence by sentence, we will give the voice modulation tips. So this is plain reading. Then in the subsequent slides, we will show the voice modulation for each sentence. So this is plain reading. A little squirrel ran up the big mango tree. It looked around and saw a red kite flying high. The wind blew gently and the leaves danced. The squirrel found a nut and held it tight. Time for breakfast, it thought happily. Then it sat on a branch, munching and smiling. The kite waved at it from the blue sky. This was plain reading. Now, we will show you part by part, line by line, sentence by sentence, how to apply voice modulation. A little squirrel ran up the big mango tree. Right? A little squirrel ran up the big mango tree. Say slowly with energy. A little squirrel ran up the big mango tree. Slowly, but with energy. Because the energy represents the fast running of the squirrel. When you say a little squirrel ran up the big mango tree with energy, it represents the fast running of the squirrel. Right? And ran up should be together. Do not separate ran and up. A little squirrel ran up the mango. No, it should be ran up together. A little squirrel ran up the big mango tree. Say it together, ran up. And slowly with energy. Slowly with energy. The energy represents the energy of the squirrel. The running squirrel. The energy of the squirrel. A little squirrel ran up the big mango tree. And then we have a short pause. So slow with energy, that is representing active running, and short pause. Why the short pause? Because the squirrel has stopped running. We will see why. So say slowly with energy representing active running. A little squirrel ran up the big mango tree, and ran up should be together. Do not separate the ran and up. A little squirrel ran up the big mango tree, followed by a short pause. It looked around and saw a red kite flying high. It looked around and saw a red kite flying high. Voice softens on looked around. When you are saying looked around, voice softens. It looked around and saw a red kite flying high. Red kite, it's a surprise, a new thing. you don't see always a red kite. Mango trees, you see mangoes, but not always a red kite in the blue sky. So it looked around and saw a red kite, a new thing, a surprise element, flying high. The voice softens a little on looking around, and voice rises slightly on red kite flying high. It looked around, softer voice, and saw a red kite flying high, slightly voice raised. Pause. Imagine the sky and the vastness, and let the squirrel look at the kite, although you will not be actually pausing for 2 or 3 seconds, but the brief pause will indicate that the squirrel is looking at the red kite for some time. So it looked around, soft voice, and saw a red kite, slight raised voice, and then pause. Let the squirrel look at the red kite. The wind blew gently and the leaves danced. The wind blew gently and the leaves danced. So blew gently, you are saying in a soft voice. Very soft and gentle voice, low voice. Blew gently, soft and gentle voice, gentle wind, gentle voice. And then stretch, leaves danced. Right? So what you are doing? Blew gently, you are saying in a soft voice. The wind blew gently. Say in a gentle voice. And the leaves danced. You are stretching the word. Leaves danced. Then you pause briefly as if you are enjoying the nature. Enjoy the greenery. Enjoy the leaves. Enjoy the blue sky. So pause briefly. Let the beauty of the nature sink into the heads of all the listeners. Say, wind blew gently, indicating gentle wind, gentle voice, and the leaves danced, stretching the word, and pause briefly so that you enjoy the dancing of the leaves against the blue sky. The wind blew gently, and the leaves danced. The squirrel found a nut and held it tight. The squirrel found a nut and held it tight. Stress the word found because it is a surprise, right? It's a surprise for the squirrel. It did not know that it will find a nut, right? Mango trees, you see mangoes, but one nut, it is something unexpected. It is a surprise. So the squirrel found a nut, found the surprise element. The squirrel found a nut and held it tight, tight. Really, it should be tight. Why? The nut is very valuable to the squirrel. The nut is more valuable than, say, gold or diamond. For the squirrel, the nut is more valuable than gold or diamond. So, held it tight. So the squirrel found a nut, found, surprise, and held it tight. Pause briefly. Let the squirrel get over the excitement. The squirrel is excited, finding a nut, and it is holding it tight. So let it get over the excitement. So pause briefly. So the squirrel found a nut, found, surprise, and held it tight. Tight indicating that the nut is very valuable for the squirrel, and pause briefly until the squirrel gets over the excitement. Time for breakfast, it thought happily. Time for breakfast, it thought happily. Use a happy and excited voice. Time for breakfast, time for breakfast. Use a happy, excited voice. It thought happily. Pause briefly until the squirrel starts eating. Now it is only thinking. So until the squirrel really starts eating, so you have to pause. Time for breakfast. Happy and excited. Time for breakfast. It thought happily, and then pause briefly until it begins to eat the nut. Time for breakfast. It thought happily, and then brief pause. Then it sat on a branch, munching and smiling. Then it sat on a branch, munching and smiling. Say munching playfully like eating something tasty. Then it sat on a branch, munching and smiling. The word munching, you should say it in such a way that you are eating something really delicious and tasty. Then it sat on a branch, munching and smiling. The word munching, say it in a style which indicates that it is really tasty and enjoyable. The kite waved at it from the blue sky. The kite waved at it from the blue sky, and softly the kite waved at it from the blue sky, and softly, warm and calm tone, showing a happy ending. The kite waved at it from the blue sky, ending softly with a warm tone, shows happy ending. So then it sat on a branch, munching and smiling. The kite waved at it from the blue sky. So munching, you will say in a way that shows that it's really tasty. And then the kite waved at it from the blue sky. Soft ending, warm tone, calm tone, happy ending. So then it sat on a branch, munching and smiling. The kite waved at it from the blue sky. So that was a short passage. Uh, you can practice as much of the voice modulation techniques indicated, but as we told you, it's only one part of voice modulation. Voice modulation is a vast subject. It includes many things, but here we have indicated just the basic things for children. So we will come back with more passages, including the voice modulation tips. So this is exactly how we read in order to create an impression on the audience, on the listeners. So voice modulation is the main trick by which you can make your speech more effective. So we take leave of the squirrel and let it happily munch and eat the nut, while we will come back next week. Thank you and goodbye.